Yo, what's good, YouTube, man? Gabriel, Another Fan TV, man. Back at you on the video at the content. This video, go smash that like button at the content of this channel. Go and hit subscribe, man. Look, so I want to talk about why I think the biggest reason that the Ravens are Super Bowl contenders and got team that's one of the best teams in the league, top three minimum, including both conferences, stuff like that. And I think it starts right here with the injury report, right? And here's why, right? And here's why, right? So right now on the injury report, Ravens have Kyle Hamilton, who had the knee injury going on, but he's been out there both days. He's been limited both days. And then after that, only person on this list is Tyler Huntley. He was a DNP today. It's personal. He'll probably be back shortly, right? Something like that. Okay. Injury luck has been on the Ravens side this year, right? In years past, a guy like Kyle Hamilton, he gets that kind of injury, and maybe it's really bad. Maybe it's ACL, things like that, right? This year, he's back on the field then during the next week of practice, right? That is the biggest reason to me why the Ravens are contenders this year, right? The injury luck is on the Ravens side, like we really haven't seen for the past probably since 2019. When the Ravens went to 2019, they finished really healthy, right? The thing that kind of was an underrated factor in that 2019 season that kind of derailed the Ravens playoffs was that final, or it was either the last game or one of the last two games when they played the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. Mark Andrews got hurt, and Mark Ingram also came up with an ankle injury. So both of those guys came into the playoff games hurt. Now listen, the Ravens still have 4 games to go, and if they can get through this stretch right now with their key guys healthy, that's big news, right? Now, obviously, Mark Andrews is a guy who is actually injured again this time, but this time is a little bit more serious, and he's out right now. But when you look at the Ravens team, right? The Ravens yesterday had all 53 guys practicing, right? Now, today, like I said, Tyler Huntley not there, but it's personal. It's not anything injury related. So, once again, I'm going to say back to back days, all the guys are practicing, right? That is a huge and major thing for the Ravens, right? When you think about COVID year, 2021, last year, the Ravens injury list used to look like a receipt, right? Long as hell, right? And we used to be, well, dang, hopefully this guy can step up and this guy's absent. And the Ravens don't have to go through that this year, right? Now, they've had injuries throughout the year. They had guys start filling this and that, but it hasn't been impacted to the way that it's like, wow, this start is going to miss the rest of the season, this and that, right? The only guy we can say that about, like I said again, is Mark Andrews, right? And Isaiah Likely is filling in really well at the moment, but that's the big key major injury, right? Everywhere else you look, the Ravens are looking good, right? When you look at teams that win Super Bowls, right? Yes, great teams, great coaching, everything like that, but generally the injury luck is on their side, right? They just don't have a bunch of guys, a bunch of important impact players go down, right? You look at Kansas City and their run. You got your important guys there. Your Mahomes, your Kelsey's, Chris Jones. Those guys are there. They're playing, right? The Rams, right? The Rams had some guys go down during that season and end up getting Odell. Odell goes down in the Super Bowl, but you know what I mean. The main important factor is that during the regular season, Odell was healthy. Through the entire playoff stretch, Odell was healthy, right? Now they only lost him in the final game of the year, right? So when you look at the Baltimore Ravens, you look at everything that's going on right now. Yes, they are a great team. They are a great team on offense, great team on defense, right? Um, but mainly the injuries haven't caught up to them, right? So I'm not a guy that really believes in jinxes and stuff like that. So I had really no problem talking about this and saying it. But when you look at the team right now, that's what I see, right? When you have opportunity to have your great players out there playing on a consistent basis, when you have your stars out there, right? Let's start with the guy at the top of the list right there, Lamar Jackson, right? Lamar Jackson has been healthy. There's been no inkling of Lamar Jackson being hurt, right? He's been there throughout the entirety of the season. That's something that the Ravens have not had in the last couple of years, right? Now, listen, once again, we got 4 games left. I said I don't believe in jinxes, but I will knock on wood, right? You know what I mean? For guys not to get hurt, but at the end of the day, it's like it's football, anything can happen. But when you look at the team, when you look at what's going on, when you look at teams at the end of the year who host the trophy, when the teams that just flat out get to the Super Bowl, right? The Eagles are an example last year, right? The Eagles didn't go through a myriad of injuries. They had their important guys there playing in the biggest moments. Darius Slay, Hassan Reddick, Jalen Hurts, their entire O line pretty much, right? Devontae Smith, AJ Brown. They're important guys. They're guys that are on the front page. They're like, okay, these are the star players. These are the guys that we need to show up. They were all there, right? So that to me right there is the biggest reason why the Ravens this year have a real legitimate shot to do it, right? In the past, when the Ravens have been or had the potential to be the top seed in the playoffs really the last 3 years, right? And that's including the injury riddled 2021 season. That's including the last year when we were all over and done with Greg Roman. Every year Lamar Jackson has played as a quarterback, the Ravens have had a chance to be number one seed in the playoffs, right? That's just a literal fact. I mean, has it ended, has the season ended that way? No. All right, but have they been in the running for it? Yes, they have been, right? But one of the main things holding these guys back was somebody would get hurt or multiple guys would get hurt. A multitude of injuries would happen where the Ravens didn't have depth and backup to replace that, right? And it's hard replacing star players, right? So this is the first year where it's like, all right, the Ravens are the favorite for the number one seed. The Ravens, I think they said, is a 61% chance the Ravens get the number one seed in the playoffs, right? That's amazing, okay? And they have a chance to hold on to that because their important guys are out there playing, right? So to me, when I look at the Ravens, that's the biggest thing I see, right? Yes, the offense is getting better every week. They're finding their rhythm. They're clicking. Odell is great, right? He's showing up in a major way at this part of the season. The part of the season the Ravens really brought him here for when it gets cold outside, right? That's why the Ravens got him here, right? Running game looks good. Offensive line is playing better. They could do better in pass protection, but nothing is ever going to be perfect. The defense probably had one of their rougher games this past weekend versus the Rams, but overall, great defense, right? And especially when Kyle Hamilton plays. If Kyle Hamilton continues to play, they're going to continue to be a great defense, right? I hope they set him out this week because I don't think he's really ready to play. But that's besides the point, right? The point is that if he's out this week, he could be back next week or the week after, right? It's not an injury that's going to hold him up for the long term, right? When you look at the teams, right, who made it to the Super Bowl, the teams who either won or lost, doesn't really matter either side. Like you think about the Bengals and their run, right? Think about all the guys that was important to their season that played, right? Burrow, Chase, Higgins, Boyd on the defensive side, Hendrickson, Logan Wilson, Eli Apple, Awuzie, right? Jesse Bates at the time, okay? You need to have your star players out there healthy, right? It's just, I know some of that sound like it's obvious, but it's the truth, right? You know what I mean? Now look at the Bengals right now where they're going out with Joe Burrow hurt, right? Now Browning is playing okay, but their chances of winning a Super Bowl have greatly diminished because of the fact they don't have their all-pro superstar quarterback, right? And that's the reality. That's the facts of the situation in the NFL. So when you look at your Ravens team and you're nervous about, I don't want the one seed, I don't want this, I want that, I still have PTSD from 2019. If the Ravens finish these final four games in the same physical condition that they're in now, there's nothing to worry about because this is the best shot the Ravens have had in Lamar Jackson's tenure to win it all. And that's my thoughts on the man, guys. Give me your thoughts and your comments on it. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here, man. It's Gabriel for Another Fan TV. I'm out.